Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to practice. I thought I'd teach a short song this morning and bring in another beloved medieval mystic consciously into our circle in the process. So, the song we're going to be singing uses the words of Julian of Norwich, which are, all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. And I know that Julian is also a beloved figure for Regina too. We share this love of Julian of Norwich. And I found somebody singing an easy song, putting those words to music. But Julian was amazing. I just want to say a few words about her because, we talked so much about all these mystics last year, wonderful sages, and I love our Western sages because they're just as amazing and powerful. And I love the female sages. I mean, we're all masculine and feminine inside, and it's all good. It doesn't really matter. Also, it is so cool to know about these amazing women who lived so long ago. So Julian lived in the 14th century, and she had an enlightenment experience, an awakening experience during a time when she was very, very ill and thought she was going to die. And on her supposed deathbed, she has this incredible experience with God, this ecstatic experience. And she is healed completely. So just imagine her completely merging with the Mingjue entirety field. And she makes a full recovery, and she's been enlightened now. And now she has super abilities. And so she becomes a anchorite in Norwich. So Norwich is kind of like southeast UK, so southeast of London, I think. I think that's right. And so an anchorite is somebody who devotes their entire life to God and spirituality and the people. And they actually basically lock themselves up in a small room overlooking the church. So she would have had this view of the entire church from where she was living, but she would never leave her quarters. She would stay there. She was anchored, right, in the church. She was an anchorite, and she would have people making sure she had her basic needs fulfilled. But her whole job was basically to anchor the Mingjue entirety field for the church, right? Like to anchor this amazing energy field around the church. And she had visions her whole life. She actually wrote the first book by anybody in the English language. Okay, I'm going to say that again. Julian of Norwich, a woman, was the first person, man or woman, to write a book in the English language. So at the time, the English language was kind of all over the place. It was still sort of being standardized. So she was very influential in a lot of the words that we use these days. In fact, she is the one who coined the word enjoy. So before Julian, we had the word joy, right? But she coined the word enjoy to bring that joy into you, into yourself, right? And her relationship with the divine was very personal and very ecstatic. It was all about pleasure and relationship and love, this divine love she talks about so much in her writings, which are still available. And she talks about, I love this, the mother God. She talks about the mother God. So, again, she has this direct relationship. She's not regurgitating church doctrine. She's just saying what she sees. And what she sees is really beautiful. And I love how she was very beloved within the confines of the established church, and people would come from all over the place for her counsel. So, okay, that's Julian of Norwich, but one of her famous phrases is all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. And it's a mantra I say to myself a lot to bring good information in my life, especially when things don't seem like they're going to be so well. So, and then I love it to put it to music because then it's really easy to infuse through your whole entire consciousness field. Okay, so I'm going to just teach that to you all, and then I have somebody else singing it alongside some ocean sounds, and we'll do some of the infinity practice to that, which I find is the easiest way for me to drop into these movements right now is through music and sort of dance, because I can get in my head a little bit and then it's not as fun. Okay, so you're all muted so you can sing as loud as you want. It's very simple. All shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. I'm just going to sing this over and over again, and you guys can sing with me just to practice, to get it in your bodies. All shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. All shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. All shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. Feel the smile on your face, feel the information going inside of you. All shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. All shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. All right. So the song actually has a couple other parts. It's sort of like a round. You can continue singing the all shall be well part over and over and over again, and it will make this gorgeous harmony with the rest. Or you can play around with the other parts, but I didn't want to, anyway, not necessary. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. All right. Let's... All these... All right, maybe... I don't know. Computer audio? I'm just going to share computer audio, I guess. The choices changed. All right. Okay, so then I'll invite you, if you'd like, to stand up. And I am going to practice these in the infinity sign practice. I forget which dragon this is. I'm sure Irene knows. But the infinity where we first move with Mingmen Inner Palace in this side-to-side infinity, and then, or not Mingmen, Shenji Palace, and then we move with Mingmen Inner Palace in this infinity practice. You can also just move side to side, do whatever movement you want, but I'm generally going to be practicing this side to side dragon movement to the song. And then if someone could just give me a thumbs up if you can hear it's going to sound like ocean sound at first. And I'll let you know when it starts. Can you hear that, ocean? Okay. All right. So just an invitation to first move with the ocean.
All shall be well, and all shall be well,
And sing along if you'd
and
like.
all manner of things shall be well. For there is a fall and will never let us go. All shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. For there is a fall shall be well, all the Lord shall be well, and moving through the universe that holds us far shall be well, and will shall be well, and all many things shall be well. That holds us far shall be well, and all shall be well, and all many things shall be well. That holds us fast, and will shall be well, and all through the universe. For there is a fall shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. That holds us fast and well, moving through the universe. That holds us fast and will never and all things shall be well.
Allowing the vibrations to move through you. Circling in the infinity sign with the waves.
Do your sheets have
Oh. Howla, howla. All right, coming back. So I'd just like to invite any sharing, any words, any things in your life that you would like to send good information to, this all shall be well information to. I know that Teacher Way's teachings were very activating for a lot of us. So if anyone has anything that would like to be shared, I'll open the floor. Yeah, Tom. And then Michaela.
Thank you for Julian and Norwich. Super big fan, and the timing is really good. I did a thing for Mingtong last night on a very large webinar where he showed the documentary he created of my experience, and then I talked with him live in front of the audience, and I hadn't seen the documentary probably in several years, and seeing it activated a lot of trauma for me. It was like part of me was willing to let that history, that story, and that experience of it wasn't all well, right? That it was a lot of very difficult and crazy stuff that happened. And I thought I was fine with it. And then last night I had very, very difficult dreams. Woke up in with a pretty strong, kind of the edge of a panic attack. But I also knew that I knew how to meet that. And I did sound healing, I did vagus nerve release, I did emotional stuff that I know to do. And so there was two experiences going on, the Mingjue that was meeting it and noticing that I was meeting it and noticing it wasn't alone with the trauma. Does that make sense? It was just kind of the two dynamics were so much more apart because of the Mingjue practice. And as I noticed, it was like a dynamic. As I noticed that whole mega thing going on, it just created more comfort and confidence. And even though it was uncomfortable, um, it was also a beautiful act of compassion. If that makes sense. And so when Julian Norris talks about all shall be well, the fifth, I call it the 51% of me that was able to be with everything else, is where I find that all shall be well peace. And as it gives me encouragement that Ming's is deepening enough to meet the survival part of my system, the traumatized part of my system, and it feels kind of good. So
Thank you, Tom.
yeah,
I imagine a lot of us can identify with what you're talking about. Yeah, I really identify with it. These challenges that we get through, and we get through them, and we come out the other side, and we feel great, right? Like we have this new life, and we've been transformed, and I'm not that person anymore, but
right.
we are also still that person, and that was still a traumatic event. And um, I imagine, I mean, for me, I know it's a constant like spiraling back to meet it again, and it gets activated in different ways, right? Like for me, sometimes if I'm talking to somebody who's going through the same thing that I was and guiding them through it, then I get to relive it again a little bit, um, which is a blessing and also challenging. Yeah,
I think there's the re-experiencing of it, and then the realization that the vulnerability of being a human being is still very present, even though, you know, a lot of things have gotten so much better. And I can talk to myself and say, look, there's so much more sovereignty here now. There's so much more capacity here now. Um, it's really about the promise not to leave, that Mingjue will not leave, right? It's not about skill as much as awareness is really on board. And because my system will project it forward into vulnerability. It'll say, well, how do you know it's not going to go like that again, into something like that. And so when I bring it back home into, what's here and the reality, the grounded reality of, yes, there's vulnerability, but yes, there's Ming's there's things here that are now more on board to respond. And but yeah, so thank you for Julian and Norwich.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
welcome. Hala. Yeah, our ego selves can only take data from the past and then project it forward. Our Mingjue selves, anything's possible. The data from our past doesn't dictate anything, right? Um, what I'm hearing is, and I struggle with this too, that like between the ego voice and then the Mingjue voice, ego voice is like, yeah, well, that happened before, and look at that. Like that could happen again. And the Mingjue voice is like, I don't know, like infinite possibilities. All of them are amazing. So, um, yeah, especially with health stuff, right? Because we're so programmed to like give our power away. You said the word sovereignty, Tom. We're so programmed to give our power away, and that like if you don't give your power away, you're being foolish. Um, and what we're learning here is to reclaim our sovereignty. We're learning to work with our own bodies to be the own experts of our own system. And yeah, get, advice from others and whatnot. But in the end, we are the ones who know the best. And that's like a huge reference framework upgrade. And it's can be scary because our egos will say our life is on the line, right? Yeah.
I, I think the other really important point that I've learned that I need to be in conversation with that scared part of myself, not
Yeah.
to just say, oh, that's just my ego self, but actually to honor what I would call the survival system in our body that actually has a really big role in keeping us safe,
Yeah.
to honor it, but also educate it, and to really work with it with the emotional work to really. So I was having lots of conversations with my scared self last night. And I didn't used to do that. I used to do the whole thing, well, it's just on Mingjue and this is going on and it'll all pass through. It does so much better when I really work with it, educate it, honor it. So much better. So much better regulation for me. So anyway, thank you.
Thank you for that, Tom. Thank you. That's Thank you. We all needed to hear that. Thank you. All right, I think we have Michaela, and then we'll go to Lillian and then Katie. Yeah. Oh, you're muted, Michaela.
Thank you for that song. It was just awesome. And I want to share that I had a car accident 2 years and 2 months ago. And I popped out of there like nothing happened. But I started to realize over the last 2 months that I actually lost consciousness. And in the little moment of time where I lost consciousness, I had a really serious brain injury, and my eyesight started to decline very rapidly. And it's like I could hear my body hit the bottom of the car like a bag of water. And I was going around 55 miles an hour and hit a telephone pole, and it broke the pole. And this week I got a surgery and my eyesight has been restored. And when I hit when I heard the water in my body splash, it was like I saw all these bubbles, people say your life flashes before you, but it was like all in bubbles, little events in my life. And I said, a couple of months ago, I said that what I was going to give up is victimhood. And I had a lot of trauma when I was a very young baby, and I felt like splattered, like I call these parts of myself splinters. And now in this trauma, this sharp shards had softened to round bubbles. And I wanted to help people that had trauma like mine, and I became a doctor, and I felt I was just giving pills to cover up, to not dig any deeper, to help people find the truth of their things instead of just pills. So I went into psychiatry, and it was even worse there. And after this car accident, it was like I could recreate my life out of all these bubbles and have no trauma, like zero trauma. And the whole process of it being difficult in medicine and psychiatry, it was like some disagreements with my colleagues. It's like I don't have to change that system. And it's incredible. I see better than I saw when I was 20. And I like to call this good information, but I also think that the accident and the process was good information, because I'm at this, my new reference framework is me. And I'm at the center of a very loving and generous universe. And so everything that happens to me is for my good. And so I hit a telephone pole at 55 miles an hour, and I have to try to see how this was good for me. And in the end, it's like there's this Rumi poem I love very much. It's just far beyond ideas of right doing and wrong doing. There's a field. I'll meet, I'll meet you there. And at the end of the poem, it says that eventually the world becomes much too full to talk about. So I'm just sort of really aware that I can have just a whole new lease on life. It's like, almost like a rebirth. And the things that it attracts, like now, since my sight came back, what I see is just beyond words beautiful, like colors that I don't even have names for. And this practice has been beyond measure powerful for me. Sorry, I think maybe this might be a bit long for sharing, but it was really quite fantastic. Anyway, cool.
Thank you, Michaela. How la to your eyesight
Yeah.
coming back, and how la to your, your underworld journey, right? You had this, gosh, you share something in common, it sounds, with Julian of Norwich, right? Having this kind of startling enlightenment experience, and then you spent some time in the darkness. And I mean, it's like the caterpillar, right? A caterpillar is half blind, and then they go into their chrysalis
Yeah.
and they turn to goo, and then they come out and they can see in hypercolor,
Yeah.
right? Butterflies can see colors that we don't have names for, literally. So
And
there's your butterfly.
I would say, with in reference to the song, where I once saw things that looked like they were collapsing, I would now choose the word softening. All will be well. It's just clear. It's amazing to see. Oh,
Thank you, Michaela.
thank you.
Thank you, Paula. Okay, Lillian, you're up next.
Thank you for the shares. They are absolutely phenomenal. They're just touching my heart so much. And thank you for bringing up Juliana of Norwich. And, being this Byzantine Catholic, I had this divine intervention and a conversion to this faith. And I sort of been on fire. So hence, part of my email is Flying Wings of Fire. And, through my accident as well, which happened, will be 7 years ago this September. And that removed some of the old filters. And I've been truly blessed to have all these new filters on now, you know. And it's been a journey through the whole thing of much, 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 much therapy. It's huge. We won't go there. But through that all, I had this faith that anchored me. And I've been really curious about Juliana of Norwich. I never explored her, even though our son-in-law is from that area. He lived in Norwich before he came to England. Came to Canada, I should say, from England. And but that really touches me. How, like last week, you had the saint too. That really touches my heart. Sort of the blend. Whereas I have this deep faith, and then the Mingjue, just running through there, like it's like, and the end sound is coming to me now, and it's like, oh, okay, I gotta, and it's like, you know even though so much was taken from me during the accident, I have vastly much greater richnesses and this beautiful network of people in the field. It's like, it's so exciting. Anyways, thank you, thank you, thank you. That's my share for today.
Thank you, Lillian. Hala.
Oh,
Thank you for the good information, and we're all smiling with you. Thank you. Katie. Is it Katie? Am I pronouncing that right? I saw you came off mute. We can't hear you yet. Oh, let's see. You're off mute, but I can't hear you. Yeah, there might be something wrong with your microphone. Sorry about that.
Can you hear me now?
Yay, you did it! Hola!
Nice. Thank you for all the sharings. They were so raw and pure. I love that. Okay. What I want to let go of is, so I practice Qigong since 3 years, and I found Jineng Qigong recently, and so now I'm doing the practice since I think since 3 weeks. Yes, and what I wanna let go is being in resistance towards emotions and thoughts, because I feel a lot of my suffering came from letting not emotions flow and feeling like they are my enemy, which sounds hard, like that they're my enemy, and then not being not seeing that I'm responsible for taking care of them. But I also have compassion with myself because I didn't know how to do that. So it's totally, I feel understandable to push emotions down. I think that's really human. And I want to end with, so I'm really new to this, and I just started with lift chi up, put chi down, and gathering chi. So if any of you have can tell me if I'm right in this group or if I should first take some courses. If you have time for that, let me know, because I feel like some of the stuff you talk about seems like advanced in my ears. Thank you.
Thank you, Katie. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our group. We're so happy to have you here. And yeah, there are tons of Zheneng Qigong resources. So it sounds like you are not in Teacher Way's current 2026 offerings. Are you taking them?
I don't know what they are, so I think I don't take them.
Okay, yeah, no problem. You don't have to. It's no problem at all. But that's one awesome resource. And if you go to the Hearts Rooted website, there's more information on that. Irene, maybe you can put a link in the chat for that class. So that's a live class that meets at the beginning of most months this year. But there's also a lot of other resources, of course, on the Hearts Rooted website and just online. And if you want to kind of get more into the theory of what we're practicing, there's a beautiful book called Mingjue Awakening, and maybe Irene could put a link. Okay, she's going to put a link to that book in the chat, because a lot of the terminology we use is really simply defined in that book. But Lift Chi Up, Core Chi Down is a beautiful first practice. That's sort of the classic first practice for Zheneng Qigong. And a lot of the stuff we practice here is a lot simpler. But Lift Chi Up is wonderful. And, my personal advice is to just go with what brings you joy, what you think is fun, because that's what you're going to practice every day. And then with our practice here, the teacher we work with, Teacher Wei, he'll say that, whatever the practice you do, that's important, sure, but the most important part is your state of consciousness. So we practice this, we call it Mingjue, it's pure consciousness. And just follow along. If you just follow along with the way that we organize the consciousness field before practice, experience it. And just doing every practice in that Mingjue state is the most important part. So it's not what you do, it's how you do it. It's the quality that's the most important. So, yeah, if anyone has any other advice, there's so many like very experienced practitioners in this room. So if anyone else has any advice, you can say that. But also just keep on coming to our classes, and you'll learn a lot. Yeah,
I
welcome.
will. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome, welcome. Sophie.
Hello, and
Hello.
for all you do, everybody. It's such wonderful to be with you all. Um, I have lost a great part of my memory for about nearly 2 months, and it was very scary, extremely scary. I mean, I could speak, but I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember where to go, how to go to one class, or what they said, or my brain is really kind of going crazy. But now it starts to come back. It is starting to come back. I feel better. I feel calmer, more confident that it will come back totally. And yes, it's been very helpful, of course, to be with you all, because everybody's energy is so wonderful. It's like such a gift to have you all in front of me. It's amazing. I never thought that could exist. And so I am enjoying what comes, and I try not to be scared, and just to let go of it, of my being scared. I can't remember the name in English, but and relax. I have to relax. so that's it. Yeah.
Hello, Sophie. You said it perfectly. You said it perfectly. It's a high level practice to not pathologize the different things that are going on in our bodies, right? Like, who knows? Maybe what you're experiencing is a reset in the way your brain works, and you'll come out of it seeing the world in a different way, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're here with you to support you and the good information and not pathologizing what's going on with you and witnessing your changes and transformation. Yeah. Thank you for sharing with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Hala.
Hala.
Yeah, I loved how Teacher Wei said in this last module, at least I think he said this out loud. Sometimes he says things that I hear, but he didn't actually say them out loud. Does anyone else have that with his yeah. Okay. I think he said this out loud that he said something like use your emotions to move the energy in your body. Use your emotions to work and move with your energy. And I loved that because it reminded me not to get attached to my emotions. We're all taught, this is what anger feels like, this is what sadness feels like, this is what joy feels like. But from that new the new framework that I can see with that teaching, it's like, oh, they're all just different emotions. They all feel different to me, and I can work with them to move energy in my body, to be the master of my own energy. So, how cool, right? Cool is that? Any other shares before we do a little? Oh, Linda, good morning.
Good morning. It's finally light here.
Yes, I know.
I so appreciate what everyone is saying. And for me, I feel like physically and emotionally things are changing, and I'm attributing that honestly to things really are changing, and that this is some kind of, gee, I don't even want to say reaction or purification, but it's a shift. And it's a little alarming sometimes, but when I go back to recognizing that my whole framework is changing, um, it's amazing. I do love this module very, very much this month. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for all of you as always. Today, I would like to ask to have a couple of people put into the field because I've just learned now that two of my next door neighbors are in hospital for very different, literally have a beautiful small community here. It's a small town. Megan, you know, lives here also. And my one neighbor has been struggling for a couple of months, kind of undiagnosed. And my other neighbor across the street has heart issues. And I'm just, these are people I love dearly and have been close to for many, many years. So Michael and Mark, and I would just like to bring them into the field and into our practice today. I'd be very grateful for that.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you.
Holding Michael and Mark in our healing field. I'd also like to add in another community member of ours from Sebastopol, Gary from Hardcore, who passed this week. Just holding them all and just inviting all of you to throw in, to add any other community members of yours who might be struggling and might benefit from the harmony of the Mingjue entirety field. And feeling our circle of caring and healing growing and growing, surrounded with healing light. Surrounded by the love and care of our baby hearts. And allowing ourselves to, individually and collectively, to feel the healing potential ourselves. And so that our practice today might be dedicated to healing and awakening of all beings. Hala, hala. And I think we'll transition into our formal practice now. Staying connected with our healing intentions for ourselves and our friends and our family, our communities. Checking in on your seated position, making sure you're comfortable. Bringing your attention to the center of your head. Consciously connecting in with the Mingjue entirety field. Allowing your consciousness to move Mingjue through your body, allowing the Mingjue entirety field to merge with your head, inner space, saying the shu sound, shu, ha ha ha. Feeling the smile on your face, allowing the good information, the enjoyment to flow through the head inner space, allowing the head inner space to become empty and open and clear. Shoo. Allowing good information to flow through the neck inner space. Shoo, ha ha ha. Bringing the feeling of laughter and joy into the neck. Allowing the neck inner space to become empty and clear. Allowing the Mingjue entirety field to merge with the shoulders and arms and hands. Shoo, ha ha ha. Bringing joy through the shoulders, arms, and hands. Allowing the Mingjue entirety field to merge with middle dantian, the heart inner space. Shoo, ha ha ha. Bringing that enjoyment, that happiness into the heart inner space. Allowing your baby heart to be filled with joy. Allowing your baby heart to become empty and open and clear. Allowing the lungs and the breasts to be filled with Mingjue love. Shoo, ha ha ha. Breathing. Allowing the Mingjue entirety field to merge with Huanyan Palace, the solar plexus, all of the organ systems. Shoo, ha ha ha. Shoo. Allowing the organ systems to become empty and clear. Shoo, ha ha ha. Bringing the Mingjue entirety field through lower dantian, the pelvis area, the pelvic bowl. Shoo, ha ha ha. Allowing joy and happiness to flow through lower dantian. Shoo. Merging the Mingjue entirety field down the spine, through the central nervous system. Shoo, ha ha ha. Filling the spine and central nervous system with joy and laughter. Shoo. Merging the Mingjue entirety field down the legs. Shoo. Ha ha ha. Bringing that quality of happiness through the legs, down the legs, through the feet. Allowing our entire bodies and our chi bodies to be filled with this light and clear energy of happiness and healing. Shoo. Ha ha ha. Allowing ourselves to consciously connect in with our Zheneng Qigong community, to connect in with all of the practitioners, all of the sages and teachers of all the wisdom traditions, feeling supported by the greater field of wisdom and dedication. Allowing ourselves to connect in with the goodness of all of the energy of the universe, the original Huanyan Qi, connecting in with the original perfection of creation and the original perfection of our blueprint here as we walk in bodies on earth. And now maintaining this deep connection to this infinite healing energy source. I'll invite you to stand. And we'll practice, well, what used to be caterpillar. Now I think it's some form of dragon dancing. So we'll practice just gently moving our spine backwards and forwards, paying attention to the articulation. So you might imagine yourself moving from Mingmen Inner Palace, so behind the belly button area, and then allowing the rest of the spine to just follow suit. Moving backwards and forwards, all the way up and down the spine. And you can imagine yourself being one of those glorious Chinese dragons. These dragons that dance through the air and dance under the sea. Happy dragons moving their bodies, freely dancing, flying through space. shining their brilliant colors for all to see. Happy, smiling, dancing dragons. Breathing into the spine. And then when you feel complete, coming to a pause. And we'll just do a couple big circulations. So feet together. I'll invite you to raise up a chi ball. Breathing in, raising a chi ball up. Allowing your chi ball to merge with the center of the universe. Breathing in, arching the back. And then pouring chi down. Imagining a shower of Huanyan Qi pouring down into the top of your head, bathing you with brilliant energy, bathing the whole head. Energy now flowing down the neck, flowing through the shoulders, arms and hands, flowing through the chest, and gently tucking the chin and bending forward, again delivering chi down the torso, bending forward vertebrae by vertebrae, really tending the spine. Continuing to deliver chi down the legs, delivering chi down the legs, through the feet, into the earth. And then merging our chi balls with the center of the earth, receiving energy from the center of the earth. And then raising up, starting from Mingmen Inner Palace, raising up vertebrae by vertebrae, bringing up our chi balls, raising our chi balls up through our bodies. And then one more time, merging our chi balls with the center of the universe, receiving energy. Relaxing the arms and the fingers, receiving energy. And then breathing in, arching the back. And then exhaling, pouring chi down. We'll stay standing this time. Pouring chi down, allowing yourself to receive. Allowing your head to merge with this beautiful information showering down from the universe. Neck merges with Huanyan Qi. Shoulders, arms, and hands merge with Huanyan Qi. Middle Dantian merges with Huanyan Qi. The back, the spine merges with Huanyan Qi. Solar plexus, all the organ systems bathed in Huanyan Qi. Lower Dantian and the hips, all down the legs, merged with Huanyan Qi. Bringing hands over the navel to close our practice. And just feel the gratitude of showing up today and being together in community. Hala, hala. All shall be well, everyone. All shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well.
Thank you, Megan, and everyone who
Thank you.
shared. Thank you. Beautiful. Hola.
Hala. Much love. See you all soon.
Hey, Megan, can you stay on for a second?
Sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye, everyone.